What it do, fitters? Welcome back and Happy New Year's. I know it's been a while since I put out some content. That's because I've been DJing for this group of degenerates at Lindy Focus.
Who are they, Ma?
Beats me. Hooligans is what they are. Probably some of those river bottom boys.
Lindy Focus, an all-encompassing celebration of swing featuring many of the world's best dance instructors and best live music on the planet. Each year we bring you a week of authentic big band music unparalleled in modern history, with classes in social dancing that can't be beat. I had a fantastic time DJing for the dances, despite that always being in the wee hours of the morning. But I came up with a project. After I pulled myself out of bed, I would head to the fitness center and start shooting content for my series on beginner exercises that everyone should know. And the first movement that I wanted to focus on were squats. Now, I wouldn't go as far and say that I'm an expert to doing squats, but I have squatted over 400 pounds, not just once, but twice, and I have very few injuries to show for it. Now, squats are a very great strength movement. Some people say they're the king of strength movements because not only do they strengthen your quads, they also strengthen your glutes, your lower back, and in the manner of how I'm squatting, it's kind of a total body exercise because I'm also strengthening my upper back, and a numerous number of joints are benefiting from this movement. Also, strength training boosts human growth hormone, insulin sensitivity, and testosterone production. But before we master a movement, we have to start somewhere. So that's why the squat is what we call a multi-joint movement, which it has that name because to perform this movement, you're going to flex and extend at three different joints in no particular order, being your ankles, then the next being your knees, and the others your hip. The squat is often the first movement named of the seven foundational movements. The other six are the hinge, the lunge, the push, the pull, rotate, and last but not least, carry. Alright, the first squat variation we're going to go over is a sit and stand or a bench squat. I pretty much introduced this because squatting is a functional movement that we do every day when we sit down in a chair. So I just have people get in a stance that's comfortable for them. Usually recommend feet hips width apart or shoulder width apart. And just have them focus on keeping good posture as they sit down by keeping the chest up, flat back, keep their weight through the middle of their feet and the knees tracking over their toes. This way, it's like they're reviewing and being very conscious of something they already do all the time, and also develop the core strength necessary to eventually remove the chair or the bench that they're sitting on. Typically, I recommend performing this with a long eccentric movement, aka slowly lowering yourself to the bench or the chair to really work the lower back, abs, and stabilizing muscles around the knees and ankles and hips. And here it is from the front. As you can see, pushing through the middle of my feet, and foot stance is going to vary over time. I recommend experimenting with different widths and foot turnout. But the biggest thing is you want to make sure that your knee is staying aligned with your second toe. Your second toe meaning if your big toe is your first toe, the toe right next to it is your second toe. So as you can see, my knees are going out to stay in alignment with that toe rather than allowing those to collapse in or go out any farther. So we're going to come back to this angle now. And something I want to emphasize, as you get stronger, experiment with just tapping your bum on the bench or chair that you're using to help train more balance and stability. And as this gets a bit more easier, then you can transition into the next squat variation. So after mastering bench squats or sit and stands, the next logical progression is to go to an air squat. But if that still has you nervous, you can do what's called a cable supported squat, or you can do this with rings or TRX machines. This is me just doing a speed up of setting up the cable machine at the hotel to be able to do this. You want to have handles probably just with your hands above your shoulders, and you want to set the weight to be really heavy so as you go down you're not moving the cables or moving the weight, and that's something that can give you an anchor to pull yourself up out of the bottom of the squat if you're not feeling strong enough to stand up on your own. Also, boo for the thumbs up! If I didn't state before, this is called a cable suspension squat. Other variations of suspension squats can be done with rings, gymnastics rings, or TRX. And the advantage of this is having the support of the cables being weighed down by the weight stacks. It allows you to go to a deeper depth that allow you to practice working on a deeper squat and being able to have a means of getting yourself out of the hole if you don't have the strength to stand up on your own. Now, a common hindrance of squatting ability is lack of ankle mobility. Typically in gyms, people use like 2.5 pounds or 5 pound weight plates to elevate the heels. But here, as you can see, I've just folded over a yoga mat or a Pilates mat to place my heels under, and then I'm able to perform a squat by putting pressure through the middle of my foot and my heel. And this will allow somebody lacking ankle mobility to be able to hit lower depths on their squats and perform a more proficient squat. Now lastly, we have our goblet squat, which is our first weighted squat. And you're going to start off by standing over the dumbbell, assert the dominance, get up, clean it up to your chest, have your hands clasped underneath the weight, and keep it close to your chest. And with this squat, you want to maintain having an upright torso and continue to go over the mechanics that we've discussed during the bench squat. We'll keep your weight in the middle of your foot, keep your knees tracking with your second toe, and keep your abs and lower back engaged. And here we go from a front view. You get a better view of where I place my feet around the dumbbell, and then I just clean it up using my legs to lift more to my back. And I want to keep that dumbbell close to my chest and in front of me. As you can kind of see, I'm kind of bringing my elbows in to kind of stabilize the bottom of that dumbbell. And the top part is making contact with my upper body. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot about squats and it makes you more confident in getting started in them. Just want to thank my patrons that are being listed for your support in making these videos possible. And please consider signing up for my Patreon page or check out the other videos that I have listed here on YouTube. Once again, Black Lives Matter, love is love, gender is a spectrum. Stay safe out there, wear a mask, and keep updating your vaccinations. Thank y'all, and be safe.